Hello, my name is Manuela, and today I'm going to present to you one of the activities included in the methodology for providing career counseling and vocational guidance at schools. The methodology is part of the Reform project, and in broader lines, what Reform wants to do is to establish direct and very clear connection between schools and career field. The current methodology includes 30 activities that can be applied to 3 different age groups. They offer career counseling techniques and can be applied by any teachers irrespective of the subject matter they teach. These activities include a set of methods and techniques designed to facilitate the determination of professional preferences and activities when it comes to job field. They are an option for exploring students' interests, abilities, expectations, and real perception. The activity that I'm going to present today is called the Aladdin Lamp. And as the title very well says, it's an activity that students are very curious to undertake. And for me, as a personal experience, I have successfully implemented this activity in my high school, and it was very attractive for my students, whether they were in the 9th grade, 10th, up to 12th grade. As a teacher and foremost as a parent, I think it is very important for schools to teach students, to teach our children what to do after school, what to do after they graduate. They need to know that they come to school in order to see their dreams come true. And as the Aladdin lamp accomplishes and makes every wish come true, this activity is designed to show students that dreams are important and that an ideal job starts from identifying the most hidden wishes. It is designed for the age group 14 up to 16. It can be administered to the entire class, and it has 3 phases, which can be done throughout an hour, a class hour. Aims. Well, first of all, as I said, it makes students realize that having a dream is the preparatory part of a more general work project. It introduces the participants to the group dimension and group reflection, and it brings participants closer to a methodology, so to identify and create analogies with future jobs. This activity is a booster of individual and social responsibility. They are engaged in active participation, they cooperate, and they establish peer-to-peer counseling. They are coaches for one another, and they build a complex image of reality. They will also have individual and group experience, and moreover, it is a very creative activity. It establishes self-awareness, self-knowledge. They are engaged into asking questions and analyzing problems instead of imposing solutions. But most important, they adopt the role of an active subject for their own success. They are the main actor for their own career field, for their own job steps. They find the right steps in turning a wish into reality. And they understand that an ideal career starts from identifying your own wishes, passions, and interests. I have extracted the description of the activity as it appears in the respective reform methodology. And phase 1 is entitled the formulation of the dream. First of all, I'm going to shortly present the procedure as it appears in the methodology, and afterwards I'm going to show you how I have implemented it inside my class hours. So after a brief introduction of the meaning of having a dream, the participants are asked to think about some wishes. So everything starts from a wish, maybe from a dream. And at this point, the dream is just an idea, which will be transformed later on into a work goal to be pursued through a constructed project and with the help of the career counselors. Through a brief brainstorming, each participant identifies 3 or 4 wishes and transcribes them on colored sheets, which later on are going to be shown on a flip chart, as you will see on my images. Participants are invited to identify the wish they feel more important. Now, in simple words, I have done this activity by asking them, by brainstorming questions like, what is a dream? Where does a dream come from? What does it hide? Are our dreams or wishes important? And the most important, what do we have to do with them? Do we ignore them or do we follow them? And the outcome, the insights that came from these questions was that the most hidden ideas that make us happy bear the name of wishes and dreams. They had to name 3 wishes and identify the most important one. Without giving further information, I've just landed some post-its, and they wrote 3, 4 wishes that came into their mind. They concluded that the first wish they wrote was the most important. So the first wish that came into their mind was the most important. Phase 2, advisory groups and reformulation of the dream. The methodology says that the counselor explains to the participants how these wishes should be treated. They divide the classroom in subgroups of 4 and 6 participants, and each participant will be able to tell his or her dream and receive pieces of advice from the group. In this case, participants act themselves as consultants. So in pairs, they are validated by their peers, by their colleagues, and they share their dreams, they share their wishes, and they make a contribution to one another, which is wonderful to see how they help each other and how they encourage one another. During my phase 2, we have analyzed how these wishes can become true, what factors we need to accomplish, what difficulties we may encounter, because nothing wonderful in this life is done without sacrifices or problems that we encounter on our path. In this case, participants act themselves as consultants in a peer-to-peer model. They formulate questions to one another and offer mutual pieces of advice. We analyze how we can turn our wishes into reality. We identify, we see exactly what our wish means and how we can transcribe it into reality. For example, being a dancer could be a truthful dream, and it could mean to be a professional dancer, or for example, to manage a dance school. And the first question, how do I know what job should I choose? How do I know what suits me? How do I know which are the steps I have to follow in order to find what I want? Is to simply imagine that you don't have to do anything at all. Just dream and see what you wish. And when we are engaging into activities that we really like, and we are 100% engaged in those activities, this is exactly the main field from where our dream job should start. We define our wish and we identify how we can turn this wish into reality. Phase 3, the tree of crafts. This phase aims to facilitate students in defining a professional area or a specific job. So at this point, we make the transition between our wish and the job field that it may imply. Each participant places his or her dream on a tree to be designed in the flip chart. You are going to see it in my images. And explains the considerations that emerge during the counseling phase number 2. Once the tree has been completed, the counselor can help the group reflection, highlighting the professional areas in which each dream is placed, or creating any aggregations between similar jobs, so to have more job opportunities in the end. For example, the dancer, you can become a professional dancer, or you can become a choreographer, or so on and so forth. Moreover, this type of activity facilitates the meeting people between mutual aspiration and having the same professional area. The tree of crafts. We have identified a specific job or the professional area that derives from their wish. And you are going to see in the following image that every wish had a corresponding job. And they could very well see the links and the common professional areas that appear among them. So at the bottom of our tree lies our wishes, and up in the tree we have the corresponding jobs. Now, as a counselor teacher, I consider that this activity is a very useful and productive one. From my point of view, the main aim of this activity is that students understand that a wish can very easily become a reality if you have the courage to pursue it, and if you have the determination to follow your wish. Moreover, they understand that their wish can hide their passions, interests, skills, and that is the main domain from where they have to find their ideal job. As the impact, in terms of impact, if we consider cognition, it implies constructive learning. They learn from one another, and they have their attention focus, they have this spaced repetition, and it focuses self-knowledge. People are engaged if they find motivation, relevance, and utility in the activities that we organize for them. And in terms of engagement, it has self-efficacy, learner's autonomy, social relatedness, relevance, enjoyment, and curiosity. They are very curious throughout the hour to see where does their wish lead them. And when it comes to learning behaviors, it has a very clear goal setting. It has learning management and self-reflection. They need to know that schools have a very clear connection to real life. They need to know that what they want matters. As I said in the introduction of my presentation, I think that if we were to simplify the reform project into one phrase, it would be that reform wants to establish a very strong connection between schools and job field. It is very important to know what should we do after we graduate. And we should do that not blindfolded after we graduate. We should do this inside and throughout and during schools. As a parent, I want to know that my children are going to learn inside schools what they are going to do after they finish school. And the Aladdin activity, the Aladdin Lamp activity, identifies what a dream career and job. From where does it start? From self-knowledge, from knowing who I am and what I wish for, what I dream about. knowing my dreams, my wishes, my passions, and my interests, and knowing very clear that schools are connected to the real life and that what they wish for can be accomplished. One of my students said at the well-known question, what do you want to be when you grow up? He said, when I grow up, I want to be healthy and happy. If I want to be happy, I want my wishes and my dreams to matter. Thank you for your attention.